Hey, okay, I'm setting up right now and I am again doing this impromptu live broadcast. So let me get it set up on Facebook real quick. Okay, hit post. Make sure that it posts properly. Okay, so what am I talking about today? Well, today I am talking about the red lentil skillet stew that I did. OMG goodness. It was good. Okay, so make sure that I'm setting this up right so that you can actually see my screen because I know you don't want to look at my face right now. You probably want to look at some pictures of the lentils that I did. So let me share my screen with you real quick and talk to you. Okay, let me pop on over here to Facebook real quick. Let me set the pictures up real quick. Yada, 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 yada. Okay. I posted quite a few of these things in succession. I'm just going to talk about them one by one, just the process that I went through, what was going through my mind. Not a whole lot, actually. I was going for convenience. I was hungry. My family was hungry, and we wanted to get the food done like right away. And so I have a very good habit of getting food done real quick when I need to. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I think that'll do it. Okay, so here we are. All right, so now basically what you're seeing here, and I'm really excited about this because it actually was very good. It was very good. Okay, now as you remember, I made a lumaca regatta salad, right, several days ago. And so I had some of that in the fridge. You know, I'm not really a huge pasta eater. I love it when I eat it, but I don't eat it often. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me hide this. Okay, yeah, I don't eat it often. I don't know if you can see this down here or not, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, I don't eat it often. Oh, let me hit like on this. Make me some calorie. Okay, that's my bro right there. Okay, but when I do make it, I really do it up. And so basically, what I did was I, of course, made a really nice marinade sauce for the pasta to go into. And so that was on another video that I covered. And if you're on my blog right now, you can just kind of scroll through and you'll see what it is that I did there. If you've got any questions on it, go ahead and pop in a question in the comments. Just sign in and ask me stuff, and I will definitely answer those questions and respond as I am actually enjoying doing these impromptu videos about food. Okay, I just heard one of my kids sneeze. Hopefully they're going to stay asleep. I kept them up nice and late last night, so I should be good for several hours to be able to get work done. Okay, side note. Okay, so here it is. I took some red onions, caramelized them. I put them in the skillet with some coconut oil. I predominantly use coconut oil for my cooking, mainly because it's a healthy oil to cook with. It is a medium chain triglyceride. It does not overtax the liver. The liver does not have to produce an exorbitant amount of bile in order to break it down and to convert it into triglycerides. So it does not, raise the triglycerides. It actually helps the body to knock those things down. It also is good because it is a saturated fat, but a healthy saturated fat. So it's a good vehicle or medium for your body to use to help build the right type of steroids and other chemicals that your body needs in order to burn fat, convert fat into energy. It's also a good cleanser. It gives your body some necessary components in order to fight certain types of illness and bacterial invasions and fungal invasions and so on and so forth. It's really good oil. It's got some good stuff to it. And it tastes great. It's a real rich, buttery flavor to it. And there's nothing wrong with a buttery flavor. So anyway, so I went ahead and I caramelized the onions, added some pink Himalayan salt, right? And some dill weed to it, and tossed that around, added in the pasta salad with the remaining sauce that was in there that hadn't soaked up into the pasta, and tossed that around for a little bit. And then I went and just popped into the kitchen and grabbed the other leftovers. Let me see if it goes there. Ooh, lovely. I love it. Okay, okay, let me go the other way. Okay, so I went and I grabbed the lentils, right? And so the lentils, hopefully that pops up. We'll see. Ah, okay, good. Okay, now it doesn't look that appetizing right there, and you're probably looking at it and saying, what in the world is that? Is that pumpkin? Did he open up a can of pumpkins? No, those are lentils. But after you cook lentils and they break down and all of that, you keep them in the fridge, what ends up happening is they have a certain type of fiber to them. I believe it's a hemicellulose, which is probably way more information than you care to know about right now. But anyway, it causes it to kind of congeal, block up like that, right? So I shaved off some red lentils into the skillet with the sauteing lumaca pasta and caramelizing red onions with the dill weed and the pink Himalayan salt. Mix that around a little, let it break down. I added a little bit of the water. Now we have a really cool water filtering system or purification system. It's the I think it's called zero water or 0 point water. And so it removes basically everything out of the water that is like an offensive chemical or whatever, or at least as best it can. It's one of the better ones on the market. It has some good tasting water. So we use that predominantly in our cooking. So, hey Ann, hopefully you're on now. Hopefully you hit the go button. If you did, leave me a comment. I just saw you pop up on the on my screen. Anyway, so I went ahead, added that to it, right? Added some water, and then let it simmer down as I broke the lentils down, right? So here it is. You're seeing after I added the water, I'm starting to break the lentils down. It's really a very simple process, very easy. And so that's what I love about it. It was 5 minutes and then it was done. You can't beat that. 5 minutes. Now granted, of course, doing the lentils themselves took more than 5 minutes. Doing the lumaca rigata pasta salad took more than 5 minutes. Not much more than 5 minutes. That took around 11 minutes because it was 11 minutes for the pasta to cook, and the sauce itself took all of 3 minutes that I used to do the marinade. I mean, once I cut up the onions and all the other stuff and added them in with the vinegars and the oils and all of that, mixed it all together, the pasta was done. I drained it and popped it in there, poured it in there, tossed it around, and initially we ate a hot pasta salad, and then of course I refrigerated overnight. By the next day, it was a nice cold pasta salad, and it tasted amazing. So I just combined that with the lentils in the skillet with the red onions and simmered it down. Oh, it was amazing. It had a rich creaminess to it, very tasty. And, of course, it was a working dinner for me. It was very late. And so there it is. Doesn't look as appetizing. I didn't bother sit there and edit it together. And you commented, very nice, thank you. I'll check out and see what the comment was. But yeah, I didn't take the time to really dress this up because, like I said, I was working. But I tell you, the food was off the literal chain. Thanks, Ann. I'm getting it in, yes. Okay, so here it is. A very simple recipe. Once you cook the lentils down, I think I have a lentil recipe on my blog somewhere. If I don't, I will go ahead do a whole rendition of how to do the lentils. Very simple again. It doesn't take a lot. It really doesn't. And what I wanted to demonstrate here is that it does not take a lot to eat healthy. It really doesn't. It takes a little planning, a little consciousness shift, but when you think about it, the amount of time that you have to put in to produce something that actually is healthy for you, as opposed to the amount of time that you have to produce something that's unhealthy for you, it's a no-brainer. I mean, because you don't even sacrifice flavor, at least not the way I cook. I believe in flavor. I don't believe in this food where it's vegetarian and it doesn't taste good. That's crazy to me. I don't think that you should sacrifice the flavor for just health, because I think health does taste good. You just have to understand the dynamics of what you're doing with your food. If you love your food and really love what you're doing, you're going to coax those flavors out of each ingredient. Okay, let me give you a really key thing that I do when I cook. I don't look at all of the ingredients as separate things that I just kind of lump together and then boom, I come up with a dish. I look at each one of the ingredients as a meal in and of itself. So at any time, if I stop my cooking process, each one of those items is going to be seasoned in a way where they can stand alone and say, wow, that was really good dill, or that was really good greens or kale, or whatever it is that he did, that was really good. And I don't know if I'll put it out there like this. I do it like that because sometimes I have a little slight bit of laziness associated with my cooking, where I may not want to take it all the way to the end. See, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to create this huge lasagna with all of these layers. I'll have 12 layers of this lasagna. And then the reality of it is that when I start cooking and then the natives start getting restless over here and they're like, Dad, I really don't want 12 layers. I just want to eat right now. I may have to stop at one. So I have to make sure that that one layer is like knock it out of the park good. So I spend the time in developing the flavor profile of the meal. Like when I do my onions, I don't just throw them in the oil and just, start dumping stuff in there. I take those onions, saute them, and begin to convert, because when you saute onions, the sulfur inside of the onion, it changes. It chemically changes into sugars. It sweetens up as you cook it. So I take the onions, right, and I caramelize them. And I get to the point just before they start to like char and all that, and that flavor is really like right there. And then I start adding other ingredients to it in order to make sure that I start borrowing the flavor, the intense flavor of the onion, and I infuse my other ingredients with that intense flavor. And then I just continue to layer. You see, there's a layering process when you are cooking that if you do this, you will always have excellent tasting food that is second to none. Trust me when I say this. It is second to none. What you do is there are certain things that you extract at different times of your meal, of your food prep. There's some things, some flavors that will only extract properly with oil, some that will only extract properly with water, some you need a combination. So when you do a multi-layered approach, you start out with the oil and then start pulling those oil-soluble elements out of your seasonings and out of your other foods, right? Your produce or whatever. And then when you start adding the liquids, the waters or the broths or whatever, then it starts extracting those things that are water soluble that the oils will not touch. Well, when you do that right and you continue to layer that process, you pull out a richness in your food that it will take literally somebody else days, literally days to develop that same flavor profile, because they're just kind of dumping everything into the pot with water or something. And I'm like, well, geez, why would you think that that would taste good? It's not going to taste good because you haven't you haven't extracted those properties. You have not loved your meal. You got to love your meal. You got to love your dish. Okay, so that's a little quick tip right there on how to extract the most flavor out of your food. I call it time and temperature. I coined that phrase years and years ago, almost 20, where the amount of the times that you add your ingredients and the temperature at which you add them, and the successions, the frequency, uh, the the layered approach, the frequency in which you add things, you start pulling out different things, and the ingredients start to chemically react with the other ingredients. Some things, when you combine them too early, then they kind of like fuse together, and the flavors then kind of lock into each other, and you can't really unlock them. So then you have to add a whole bunch more seasonings and do a whole bunch of more things to kind of backpedal your way into a good tasting dish. If you approach it right the first time and you say, okay, let me now, really respect each one of these ingredients. Let me treat each ingredient properly. Sometimes you'll add an ingredient at a certain point and then you take it out. You reserve it to the side because it has to stop the process because it just infused the oil or the liquid or whatever. Then you start adding the other stuff. Then at the end you may add the thing back in order to now get those flavor pops so everything doesn't end up just melding into one thing as if you were to take a steak and throw it into the blender. You're not gonna have the nuances of all of those intricate flavors, the different elements, like when you have a nice spice crusted steak. I'm not a steak eater, but I used to eat meat heavily, right? But as you are adding the different things, each bite should have a series of different flavors that dance around on your tongue. If you don't treat your ingredients like that, you won't get that dance. You'll just get a bland, blah meal that will be just kind of ordinary, not extraordinary. All right. So I hope that helps you out. I'm going to come off a screen share now, and you'll see my face again. Here we go. Let me see. Okay, here we are. And I think I'm just seeing my okay, here we go. All right. So there it is. It is a quick rendition of what you're doing when you are making this red lentil skillet stew. The reason why I do it in a skillet is because the skillet, it provides a larger surface area, so it's faster. The cooking time is faster. If I were to cook it in a stock pot, it would be totally different. I would not evaporate the same amount of liquid. I want to evaporate to concentrate those flavors. It would take longer, and then I stand the chance of scorching the bottom unless I'm sitting there manning it, stirring it, and all of that. And I don't want to do that. I want something that is quick, 5 minutes. I'm in, I'm out. It tastes great. Everybody's raving about it, and I'm good to go, and I'm able to get back to work. So there it is. All right. If you have any questions, you may want to ask it before I get off of this hangout, and I will answer them accordingly. If you don't have any questions, then I'm going to close this out and go on about my day. I got a lot of work to get done today, but I wanted to stop and do this real quick, and have some fun with it. All right. Okay, looks like I am cutting out. And again, thank you for your comment. I love you and hope you are doing very well. Actually, I know you're doing very well. And anyway, we got to catch up. Hope that I see you up in Florida. Anyway, all right. Catch you later. It has been fun, and I will catch you all the next go round, which will be probably the next dish that I start posting on Instagram. All right. Jason Hodge. Oh, real quick, if you want to get more information about what it is that I'm doing in business, in the kitchen, in life, go ahead and click one of those links that you see. If you're on my blog right now, it'll be one of the banners. Either go to your right or go to the top, or go to the bottom. Any one of those banners will, lock you into one of my mailing lists. And, if not, later on I'm going to edit this particular post so that there will be a clickable link so that you can get, further contact with me. And you may have some questions that I can answer. Hopefully I can, and if not, I definitely can point you in the direction of the resources that will be a best fit for you. I got a lot of contacts of folks who are in all different kinds of businesses, all different kinds of walks of life, all different technologies, and so on and so forth. So, whatever it is that you're looking for, I'm pretty sure that I can just reach out and touch it for you. So, I will catch you later. And let me know what you think about these videos. I know it's like totally unstructured, and I kind of like that. Every now and then it's good to get outside of the structure of life in order to structure some other things. And so that's what I'm doing with these videos. It's talking about something that I really love. It's food, and food and life. So catch you later. All right.